Good morning, all my dear friends. Let's start this wonderful day with an inspiring thought. Be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. I think each one of us have some passion or the other, ambitions, and some burning desires inside us that really sets our soul on fire. And to complete those hot pursuits, we should always leave our fears and inhibitions away. So, in the same pursuit, I'm going to present a topic today. This is Namita Goyal, the presenter of today. I have done Masters in Biochemistry from TJ Chandigarh. I have worked as a lecturer of MBBS and BDS students in IGMC Shimla. Currently, I am working as lecturer of BDS students in Baba Jaswant Dental College, Ludhiana. I am also working part-time as a mentor of biology for the preparation of NEET exams. My hobbies are teaching, reading new books, cooking, singing, playing guitar, learning new things, and taking new challenges in life. I'm also a foodie, so in an endeavor to boost this passion, I'm trying to develop my food blog at the name of Namita's Food World. Please like my recipes and follow my blog, although there are not much recipes which are posted here yet. I see myself as an entrepreneur and as an educator in the coming future. So the topic for today is how to be a heart smart. Now, as we all sitting here are from diverse backgrounds, but believe me, this lecture is going to acquaint you with the basics of the heart and give you a few take-home messages. So the topics that we are going to cover is position of the heart, protection of the heart, external and internal structure, double circulation, valves and heart sounds, myogenic heart, the different disorders of the heart, the tools that are used to diagnose the diseases, their treatment, and tips for a healthy heart. So let's see the first topic, that is the location of the heart in the thorax between our thoracic cavity. Now I think you can very well see these two brown colored parts. These are lungs, and this yellow colored tissue or organ which you can see, this is the heart. It is little displaced towards the left side with its apex towards the left side, and this is the base of the heart which is tilted towards the right side. So as you can see very well, the base of the heart, as in this picture also you can very well notice, the apex of the heart is towards the left side and the base of the heart is towards the right side. Now the next question is, if the heart is present between the lungs in the thoracic cavity, then how is the heart guarded? What are the things that protect our heart? So the first thing that protects our heart are the ribs, and the second thing is the pericardium. Now let's see. Now, as we have already seen in the picture, that the ribs, they protect the heart from being crushed or bumped, because ribs are what? Ribs are something called as bones. They are kind of bones which are protecting the heart. They are very hard. So and heart is very sophisticated. So if suppose that there is some pressure on the heart, so heart has a full tendency to be crushed. So these ribs, they do not allow the heart to be crushed. They behave as a cushion for the heart, and they allow the heart to bear any kind of external pressure which is coming on the heart. The second thing which is protecting the heart is pericardium. This pericardium is a membrane which is anchoring the heart to the diaphragm and the sternum. Now let's see in this picture what is the diaphragm. Can you see this muscular organ, this muscular on which the heart is resting? This muscle is basically called as the diaphragm. And there are different layers around the heart which are called as pericardium, which are further divided into different layers, and this pericardium is secreting some kind of fluid which is behaving as a lubricant, which is allowing the frictionless movement of the heart. So we can find out that basically apart from the ribs, there are two more things which are protecting or behaving as the guard of the heart. The one is the diaphragm and the second is the pericardium. Now let's see in detail what is pericardium. Basically pericardium is the outermost covering of the heart, which is further divided into two layers, fibrous pericardium and serous pericardium. Myocardium is the middle layer of the heart, which is mainly consisting of the cardiac muscles. Endocardium is the innermost layer of the heart, which is lining the internal walls of the heart. So as you can notice in this diagram, that the outermost layer, which you can see, which is a very thin layer, that is called as fibrous pericardium. And when we start dissecting the heart, then if we remove this pericardium, A layer which is found inner to the fibrous pericardium, that is the parietal pericardium. You can see. And what is this parietal pericardium? This parietal pericardium is the outermost layer of the serous pericardium, right? So the next layer is the visceral epicardium, sorry, pericardium, which is again a part of the serous pericardium, and then the endocardium or the innermost layer of the heart, right? So basically we have to remember is that pericardium is the outermost layer, middle layer is the myocardium, and the innermost layer is endocardium. Now let's come on to the different heart chambers. Now, I think we all are aware of that human beings, they are blessed with a four chambered heart, right? So out of which there are two auricles, two ventricles. The auricles means the upper chambers of the heart, which are further divided into right atrium and the left atrium. Then the next two chambers are the two ventricles, which are further divided into right ventricle and left ventricle. Now, these different chambers of the heart, it's not that blood is flowing, without any restriction or without any control over them. There is, of course, a regulatory mechanism by which the blood is flowing from one chamber to the another chamber. So there are basically two types of cardiac valves, atrioventricular valves. As the name suggests, atrio means atrium, that is the upper part or upper chambers of the heart. Ventricular means the lower chambers of the heart. So the valves which are guarding the flow of blood from auricles to ventricles, that may be the right auricle to right ventricle or that may be the left auricle to left ventricle. They are called as atrioventricular valves. Now, if these valves are present between the right auricle and right ventricle, they are called as tricuspid valves. And if these valves are present between the left auricle and left ventricle, so they are called as the mitral valves. Similarly, there is a second category of valves which is called as semilunar valves. And these semilunar valves, they are present in the pulmonary aorta and systemic aorta. We'll be doing these aortas in detail. Basically, these are the blood vessels that are either taking the blood away from the heart. For example, pulmonary aorta, as we can see, this this artery is called as pulmonary aorta. This is taking the blood away from the heart, right? And this is the only artery of the body which is carrying deoxygenated blood, that is impure blood. This is an exception. Rest all arteries of the body, they are carrying oxygenated or pure blood. This is the only artery of the body which is carrying deoxygenated blood. Similarly, the other aorta is systemic aorta. Now this systemic aorta, this will arise, you can see this is the largest artery of the body. ये जो artery निकल रही है यहाँ से, this is called as the systemic aorta. Systemic means body. So this aorta is innervating each and every body part. And this is supplying, what do you think this will supply, which kind of blood? It is obviously this will supply oxygenated or pure blood to each and every body part. So am I clear with this? So there are two walls, atrioventricular, semilunar. This is the broad classification. Atrioventricular can be tricuspid if it is present on the right side. It can be mitral if it is present on the left side. Similarly, the semilunar valves are present in pulmonary aorta, that is which is going to the lungs. Then the systemic aorta, that is going to each and every body part. So this is the magnified view of the valves if we see in detail. This one is the pulmonary aorta and this is the systemic aorta. Now next is the circulation of the heart. Now if we see the circulation of the heart, the human heart is having a double circulation. Why we say double circulation? अभी मैंने बताया कि the blood is leaving the heart via two arteries. One of it is pulmonary artery and the other is systemic artery. तो क्योंकि जो ब्लड है वो हार्ट से दो बार ही बाहर जा रहा है, ठीक है, तो सर्कुलेशन जो है वो दो लेवल्स पे हो रही है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज पल्मोनरी एंड सिस्टेमिक. द सेकंड थिंग इज व्हाई वी से कि ह्यूमन बीइंग्स आर हैविंग अ डबल सर्कुलेशन. द रीजन फॉर दैट इज कि ब्लड इज एंटरिंग द हार्ट ट्वाइस. How it is entering? We'll see. Let's see how is the blood entering the heart twice. If the blood enters the heart once, we say it is single circulation. But if the blood enters the heart twice, we say it is double circulation. And human beings are again blessed to have a double circulated heart. Pulmonary circulation means which is involving the right side of the heart. Right side. So basically, in the right atrium, there are some blood vessels which will pour deoxygenated blood or the impure blood. This blood will enter into the right atrium, and as I told, Tricuspid valve guards the entry of blood from right atrium to right ventricle. Right ventricle say they will enter into the pulmonary artery through semilunar valve, and pulmonary artery will take the blood away to the lungs. So this entire circulation comes under the category of pulmonary circulation, and this is involving the right side of the heart plus it is involving the lungs, and it is involving only the deoxygenated blood. So we can see this one is the tricuspid valve. This is the right side of the heart. Right atrium से blood आया right ventricle में through tricuspid valve. Right ventricle से blood कहाँ पे चला गया? Blood चला गया pulmonary artery से किस में चला गया? Blood lungs में चला गया. अब lungs में जाके blood purify हो जाता है, वहाँ पे ऑक्सीजन मिक्स हो जाती है, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड leaves the blood, and then now the blood becomes oxygenated. So this oxygenated blood again enters into the heart. So let's see what happens now. अब जब ये oxygenated blood heart के अंदर आता है, so this is called as systemic circulation, and this is involving only the left side of the heart, and the blood vessel which is bringing this oxygenated blood back to the heart is called as pulmonary vein. Now we all are aware of this fact that veins carry only the deoxygenated blood, but this is again the only section of the body which is carrying the oxygenated blood. Now why it is carrying the oxygenated blood is because it's coming from the lungs and it's going entering into the heart. Why the oxygenated blood is entering into the heart? It's entering because ultimately it's the heart which is creating a pressure inside the body, and it's the heart under which force, under whose force the blood will enter into each and every body part. So pulmonary vein से जो blood है वो कहाँ चला जाता है? Left atrium. वहाँ से ये enter हो जाएगा left ventricle through the mitral valve, that is at the left side. Then it will enter into the aorta through the semilunar valve, and finally it will be distributed to the entire body. Now we can appreciate the same thing here, कि when the oxygenated blood it enters into the left auricle through the pulmonary vein, it enters into the left auricle, right? Now when it enters into the left auricle through the pulmonary vein, so you can see these are the blood vessels which are coming from the lungs, these two. ठीक है, ये पल्मोनरी वेन्स हैं, और ये पल्मोनरी वेन्स जो ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड है वो कहाँ पे ले आती है? लेफ्ट एट्रियम में. लेफ्ट एट्रियम में से ब्लड चला जाता है लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल में थ्रू दिस मिट्रल वॉल्व, और मिट्रल वॉल्व से अल्टीमेटली जो ब्लड है वो एओर्टा के थ्रू चला जाता है which is guarded by aortic wall, और aorta आगे किसको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर देती है? aorta will distribute by various branches, it will again branch and this will distribute the blood to the body. Now, this is a summary of what I am going to discuss, what I have discussed, how both circulations are coordinated. This is being shown in this diagram. This is the pulmonary circuit, that is the pulmonary circulation, and this is the systemic circulation. Now let's club both the circulations and see how is double circulation regulated in the body. Now this blue colored blood is which blood? This is the deoxygenated blood or the impure blood that I am talking about. This red colored blood is the oxygenated or pure blood. Now see what's happening basically. When the person is respiring, the person is using oxygen and the person is releasing carbon dioxide. Now this carbon dioxide, when it is entering into the blood, it is making the blood deoxygenated. So the blood becomes carbon dioxide rich and oxygen poor, and because it has become deoxygenated, it is being shown in blue color. Now this deoxygenated blood from the entire body, it will enter where? It will enter into the right atrium through various vena cavas. If it's coming from the lower body parts, the inferior vena cava will carry it. If it is coming from higher body parts, superior vena cava will carry it. So the finally the deoxygenated blood enters into the right auricle. Right auricle से the blood goes into the right ventricle, and right ventricle से the blood is leaving to the lungs. The blood is leaving to the lungs. As you can see very well that this blood from the right ventricle is entering into the lungs. This is the pathway by which the blood is entering. यहाँ से blood आया और right ventricle से ये blood किस में चला गया? ये lungs के पास चला गया. कौन सी blood vessel के थ्रू चला गया? Pulmonary artery के थ्रू चला गया. Now in the lungs, purification is occurring. We are inhaling oxygen. So this oxygen is entering into the lungs, carbon dioxide is going out, and now the blood is becoming oxygenated. Now this oxygenated blood is shown in red color, and with the help of pulmonary veins, this oxygenated blood is entering into the left atrium. Left atrium say the blood is going to left ventricle, and from left ventricle the blood is finally entering through the aorta again to different body parts. Again the person is using this oxygen from the oxygenated blood. Carbon dioxide is being given out, the blood is again becoming deoxygenated, and hence the cycle continues. So this is the summary of how double circulation is happening inside the body. Now, as we know that the heart is producing two sounds, love, dub. Some people say love is live your best and dub is do your best. I think the heart is also giving us the same message that biologically how are these sounds produced? Love is produced due to the contraction and relaxation of atrioventricular valves, and dub is produced due to the semilunar valves. When these valves close, then dub sound is produced. Now my question for you is, can the heart beat outside the body? Suppose a person's heart is taken outside the body. Will it beat? But let me tell you that heart can beat outside the body for some time. For some time, heart can beat. Why it can beat? Because heart is made up of specialized muscles, which are called as myogenic muscles, which can contract even without nervous stimulation. Basically, every muscle of the body it requires a nervous stimulation to get activated. But heart is made up of some specialized muscles which can even contract without nervous stimulation. So next is that is why the heart it is called as autorhythmic. Why it is called as autorhythmic? Because heart is controlled by two nodes that are within the heart itself. The first node is called as sinoatrial node or SA node. Now you might have often heard that person got the pacemaker transplanted or a new pacemaker has been incorporated into the person's heart. Now what is basically a pacemaker? Pacemaker is nothing but it is also a band of muscle fibers which are going to generate the impulses and give message to the heart for its contraction. So because it is initiating the impulse in the heart, so it is called as the pacemaker. And similarly, the SA node, there is another node which is called as AV node, and then there is bundle of His and Purkinje fibers. So this is the pathway how is the impulse traveling from SA node to AV node to AV bundle to bundle of His and to Purkinje fibers. So this is the diagrammatic view. We can see in the right auricle there is a SA node. This one is the SA node. SA node is giving the impulse to the AV node. AV node is giving the impulse to the AV bundle. This one is the AV bundle. This AV bundle is finally disintegrating into two parts. It is forming the bundle of His. Actually, basically, it is giving two branches, right bundle of His and left bundle of His. And the impulse is finally traveling to these bundle of His. These bundle of His are entering along the walls of these chambers, right? Which finally branch and divide to form Purkinje fibers. So finally, with the help of these Purkinje fibers, each and every muscle cell of the heart gets a message to contract. So this is how are the messages traveling within the heart. Now next again there is a question for you. We have just read that heart it is creating a pressure, heart is responsible for the circulation of oxygenated blood. But a question should arise in each one of us mind that अगर हार्ट सबको ऑक्सीजन प्रोवाइड कर रहा है तो हार्ट को ऑक्सीजन कौन प्रोवाइड कर रहा है हार्ट को अपनी न्यूट्रिएंट्स कैसे मिल रहे हैं हार्ट इज आल्सो कंपोज्ड ऑफ द मसल हार्ट इज आल्सो हैविंग मसल cells those cells also require oxygen they need energy to beat they need their requirement is as normal as any other normal cell of the body. So but how is the heart able to meet all its requirements? The answer for that question is that there is also a blood supply to heart itself. जैसे हमारे हर बॉडी पार्ट से एक वेन जाती है और आर्टरी आती है जो उसको प्योर ब्लड देती है Similarly, heart is also supplied with its own muscular circulatory system. कुछ ऐसी आर्टरीज हैं जो हार्ट को ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड देती हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल these are called as coronary arteries which do divide into right coronary artery and left coronary artery. Similarly, there are also veins like coronary veins which are taking the blood to the heart to the right atrium. Now, there are some disorders of the heart like heart failure, atherosclerosis, angina pectoris, myocardial infarction, silent ischemia, right? And there are also some techno tools which help the doctors to diagnose the different disorders. Now, first is very easy that you very well know stethoscope. It is used to hear the heartbeats. Electrocardiograph, or commonly which is known as ECG, which is the second most important test for the diagnosis of heart disease, is done to check the heartbeat. How regular is the heartbeat? How regular are the different impulses of the heart that are giving messages to the heart to contract? So to check those things, ECG is being done. Then there is another instrument which is called as sphygmomanometer. Many of you might be having it at your homes, which measures the blood pressure and it sees how the heart is exerting pressure with each contraction. बीपी measure करने के लिए हमारे पास एक machine होती है घरों में, not the digital one, but the normal one that we use, which is having mercury in it. So that is sphygmomanometer. Then doctors also prescribe a TMT test, whose full form is treadmill test, in on which it's basically a machine on which the patient is allowed to run for some times, and the different parameters of the heart like heartbeat, heart rate, blood pressure, they are monitored, and the effect working of the heart is checked. Then the most important test for this is angiography. Angiography is a test by which the doctors they measure the deposition of the, you can say, deposition of the plaque or the cholesterol deposition within the blood vessels. So the technique which is done or the method that is called as angiography. And suppose during the time of operation the doctors find that there is some specific deposition within the blood vessels which can be fatal to the patient. So and at the same moment they go for bypass surgery or they go for angioplasty or ballooning, etc. So bypass surgery, angioplasty, which is a stent implant. Stent is a kind of a coil which is inserted into the blood vessel so that the artery may not deflate and the blood supply may not be obstructed. There are also different medicines which are available in the market which are prescribed by the doctors to reduce the cholesterol level and to reduce the blood pressure. Now there's a video on angioplasty and stenting.
Percutaneous coronary intervention, also known as coronary angioplasty, opens narrowed coronary arteries. A small, hollow tube called a catheter is inserted into an artery in the groin or arm and threaded to the affected artery. A thin, flexible metal wire is then advanced through this tube and past the site of blockage in the artery. A second, smaller catheter is then inserted over the wire and threaded to the same artery. When it reaches the narrowed area, a small balloon on its tip is inflated to reopen the artery and flatten the blockage into the artery wall, while at the same time stretching the artery open to increase blood flow to the heart. Both catheters and the wire are then withdrawn. About 70 to 90% of coronary angioplasty includes placement of a stent, a wire mesh tube that holds open weakened arteries. The stent may prevent re-narrowing after an artery is widened, and it stays in place permanently as the blood vessel lining heals over it.
Now, how we can prevent the heart disease? Now, for the prevention of heart disease, the most important thing is we should eat variety of fruits and vegetables. They should be low in fat and high in vitamins and minerals. We should try to eat low fat diet. A lot of multigrain products should be taken. The non-vegetarians should be very well be aware of the harmful effects of the chicken, fish, and other meat products because they are high in cholesterol and high in fat content. We should also switch to fat-free milk, which can be a toned or a skimmed milk. Second rule is exercise. So maintaining a level of physical activity that keeps us fit is very very important, and especially we should try to maintain our maintain the HDL LDL ratio. HDL, you might be aware, the doctors they also prescribe for a cholesterol test or a total lipid profile. So lipid profile is having a parameter which is called as HDL and LDL. HDL is high density lipoprotein and LDL is low density lipoprotein. So exercise, what it does is it maintains, it increases the HDL. HDL is a good lipoprotein of the body. जितना HDL ज़्यादा होगा हमारी बॉडी में उतना अच्छा होगा, क्योंकि ये सारा कोलेस्ट्रॉल हमारी बॉडी से लिवर की तरफ कंसोलिडेट करता है, सो ये हमारी बॉडी के लिए अच्छा माना जाता है. और LDL is low density lipoprotein and it is a bad lipoprotein. Why? Because it disperses the fat or the cholesterol from the liver to the extrahepatic tissues, that is the other tissues of the body. So अगर हमारे बाकी टिश्यूज में फैट या कोलेस्ट्रॉल ज़्यादा डिपॉजिट होना स्टार्ट हो जाएगा, of course that's not good for us. So LDL is taken as to be a bad cholesterol. So we should eat some substances, like there are some products like flax seeds, alsi which is called as, so it maintains a good HDL LDL ratio in the body. Omega 3 fatty acids are also very good for our body, so we should take unsaturated fatty acids. Saturated fat is not good for our body, trans fat is not good for our body. Then omega 3 fatty acids should be taken, and all those products which maintain the HDL LDL ratio should be taken in diet. Now let's see what's the take home message from today's lecture. The first thing is that heart is myogenic. It can beat even outside the body. I think this might be a new fact for all of us, because we always think that heart cannot beat, but heart can beat for some time outside the body, because it is containing some specialized muscle fibers which generate their own impulses. So heart is myogenic. The important take home message is this. Second is the double circulation of the heart is very important for maintaining a constant body temperature and a continuous energy. अब डबल सर्कुलेशन का एक बेनिफिट ये है कि इससे हमारी बॉडी का ऑक्सीजनेटेड और डीऑक्सीजनेटेड दोनों तरह के जो ब्लड है वो सेपरेट आउट रहते हैं. They do not mix with each other, and because they do not mix with each other, the cells they get a proper supply of oxygenated blood, and when they get a proper supply of oxygenated blood, they are they are able to maintain their full energy, right? And when a continuous energy is maintained, of course the body's complete homeostasis is under control. Next, the last message is a healthy lifestyle is a must for maintaining a healthy heart, राइट. अगर हमारा लाइफस्टाइल अच्छा नहीं होगा, एंड आई थिंक दिस स्टेटमेंट इज इवन वैलिड वाइस वर्सा ऑल्सो. अगर हमारा लाइफस्टाइल अच्छा नहीं होगा, विल नॉट बी डूइंग एक्सरसाइज, विल नॉट बी टेकिंग प्रॉपर डाइट, विल नॉट बी हैविंग अ हेल्दी हार्ट, एंड वाइस वर्सा. अगर हार्ट की प्रॉब्लम आ जाएगी, या अगर हमारा हार्ट हेल्दी नहीं होगा, स्टिल द लाइफस्टाइल विल बी अफेक्टेड. सो आई थिंक बोथ दी स्टेटमेंट्स दे गो हैंड इन हैंड एंड दे कॉम्प्लीमेंट ईच अदर. So I think I want to thank you everyone. With special thanks to Thapa University, especially to Dr. Mittal, Dr. Prateek Bhatia for helping us, for empowering us, and making us capable of making such move. And I want to congratulate myself and all of the participants for this success. And after delivering this lecture, after recording my video, I'm feeling very elated. Of course, this is my first move. There is a lot of scope for improvement, but still, I think I'm fearless in this pursuit. Thank you.